Hello, can you hear me okay? Yeah. So, good morning. My name is Minu Beena Sisupal, and I have been waiting to give this speech from last 2 years. And so this is a small bit about me. I'm from India, that you can see from me. And I'm married, mother of 9-year-old who is sitting here with my friend. And I have 13 years experience in IT industry, and I'll talk about that now. So I started my career as a test engineer. Before that, I did my engineering in electronics and communication. And I started career as a fresher in Infosys. I stayed there for 7 years. If you don't know about Infosys, Infosys is the second largest IT exporter in India. And we have branches in almost all the countries in the world. And I worked there for 7 years, and then I moved to RM Education. It's a UK-based company, and worked there for 3 years. Then I thought, like, okay, enough about the testing career. I need to do something more advanced and excited. That's why I thought I'll do masters. I came here, and I learned masters in data analytics here in this university, and I joined as senior data scientist with Carrick, which is our diamond sponsor. And I have been with Carrick from last 3 years. And I basically do tech speaks in conferences. And the last part, active member of data science community, I just put it as show off. I'm not an active member, I'm an active listener in the community. And because we are diamond sponsors and we don't have any other slides or banner which we forgot to put here, so I'm talking about Carrick a bit. So Carrick started with me. I was the second employee with Carrick. We started in 2019, and we are a digital transformation company. So that means we deal with machine learning, we deal with transformation, so cloud transformation, data migration, a lot of things. Our founders are from ex-Google employees, so we deal with GCP a lot. So every day morning, you open GCP and start your work. So that is our day-to-day work. And if you want more details about machine learning and all, we are there. We, in the sense, me and Danny, who is there, he's in the second row with my son. So we can talk about it. We started with like 12 members pre-COVID, and now we are like more than 100 people across the globe. So the headquarters is in New York because our management sits there, but all the engineering team, the brain people, sits in Belfast. So you can cut that part, Danny. So let's go to the topic. The topic is data science in 30 minutes. It's not possible to talk all things about data science in that time, but I'll try to make it sure like it won't be boring you and it's like very easy to understand. So data science, you deal with data in a scientific method form. And what you do, so you work on structural and unstructured data. Structured data is like tables, and unstructured data you can think about like tweets, or your post, all those things. So you use the scientific process or method to understand those data. So that's what data science is, clearly. And why data science? So data science, done. So why data science? Mainly because it's paying a huge amount of money to data science jobs. So that's the main reason why I choose data science. Along with, we have a lot of data every day. So how do we deal with it and get insight out of it? So that was another exciting thing for me. So that's why I did my data science. And so once we have the data and once we analyze the data, we understand and we get the insight, which will help the companies to do a better decision making. So that is why data science. But like I mentioned, the first part is you get a lot of opportunities. It's good for job seekers. And now why? Now let's see like what do data science do in different domains. So these slides will be available for you guys. So I'm not going to read any of these things now, but I'll pick few things. So in e-commerce, we can see like recommending products. I don't know whether you see the Amazon or Tesco, they give you a better way of understanding. I mean, they understand you better and they recommend products according to what you bought in your past behavior. In banking, we know like credit risk modeling. So you look at like whether this person is eligible for credit. Is it going to be a fraud? So those kind of information you'll be getting from the data. And transport, self-driving car. So I don't have to explain more on those. So all these things are different part of data science. Now, why data science? What data science? We know like these are the different domains and what are the data science roles? There are a lot more. This is like the core ones. So data engineer role where you do engineering as well. Then you have data science, which I'm doing. So you do data engineering, you do data analyst, you do visualization. You are basically the star if you are a data scientist. Then we have data analysts. They really come up with insights of the data. Say they don't do the modeling, but they come up with the insights. So it can be visualization or it can be anything, but it gives, that's also an important role, I'll say. Now, what are the skills required? I hope like you got the interest in data science roles. So the skills are a lot of skills you need. And so if all these skills are basically for data science roles, but it depends on the data science role or data analyst role. So data analyst roles, you don't need the programming skills that much. You need to understand basics of maths, line equation for sure. And good communication skills, presentation skills, because if you have the insight and if you can't communicate, it won't make any sense. Then SQL skills, you'll be working with a lot of data. So mostly it will be in a database. And because you have a lot of data, you need to save it somewhere, not in the laptops. It should be in cloud technology. So you will be using mostly AWS, Azure, and GCP. And now, if you are really interested and want to learn data science, this is the starting point. At least this was my starting point. So I started reading the blogs, and then I started looking for data sets from kaggle.com. That's a really good website if you want to look for the data. That should be your starting point, and then you can look for personalized course. No, I'm not talking about Udemy or Coursera, but the personalized course like the one I have done. So I came here to do masters so that I'll spend 1 year completely focused on data science because I get distracted by multiple things. So I want to keep myself focused. And the second one is what we are all doing now, like attend the conference, meetups, webinars, seminar, a lot of things are there. It's virtual as well as personal nowadays. So you could do any of these things to start your data science career. Now I'll talk about a very, very small project, and this is on text analytics. So it's a data science project, but we are going to deal with the text data. So this is basically the life cycle of a project. First, you need to define the project. Then you need to understand, okay, I know what is the problem. So I need to know the data which is required for solving this problem. And then you do feature extraction, data modeling, and communicate the results. So that's the kind of life cycle which I follow. It will be different for different people, different frameworks, but this is what I follow. So what basically we are trying to do here is our project. Suppose we are all in this project. What our plan is, we got food reviews from a restaurant. And what our restaurant owner wants to have is he wants to get insight from the data and see like why we are getting negative reviews or why we are getting positive reviews. If we are getting negative reviews, is it on the staff or on the food quality? So this is what we are going to try and solve today. So if that's the case, we know the data needs to have food review because that's what we are going to look at. And then also one more column which tells us like whether that review is positive or negative. So here you can see I got a sample data set from Kaggle, and these are the 3 columns it had. text, basically, which is our food review. And then we have stars, like from 1 to 5, they have put stars according to what people felt, and they have put the sentiment as well. So sentiment 1 means it's a positive review, 0 means it's a negative review. So what I made sure is like in each slides, I put like, so this is Python language which I have used. So I have put for people who wants to look at the technical side, and for the non-technical side, you can just listen to me. And so basically what you are seeing here is I just pulled that information, and you can see text, star, sentiment using Python. Now I have mentioned, so problem statement, we know like we are trying to achieve whether a food review is positive or negative. Then we pulled the data, so data extraction is done. Now we are going to do something which is different from all the data science projects. So this is an NLP project, natural language processing. So here what we have an extra step is feature extraction. So for data model, the input should be numbers. So here we have text. So what we'll be doing is convert that text into numbers. So how do we do? That's what I have mentioned over here. So you take the data, so it's in sentence, you tokenize it. So that's what you're seeing on your left side. So you tokenize it and you clean it, remove the stop words and vectorization. Vectorization is nothing but you have a word, you'll convert into number. That's it. So tokens means you have this sentence on your left, and you can see like once you tokenize, the sentence will be converted into words. Cleaning means there are a lot of process you can do. Here I have done very simple thing, which is like I'm just keeping alpha. That means all the numbers has been removed here. And then remove the stop words. Stop words means the common words which we use. This, is, a, for, so all those things, because it doesn't give any value when we do the further analysis. So tokenize, clean, remove stop words, that's what we have done. So this is a simple text for analysis 1 have been converted into sample, text and analysis. So that's our output now. Now what we do, our second step is vectorization. So all the words we'll be putting into vectorizer, a process called as vectorizer, which simply give you numbers for each of the words. So sample will be converted into a number, text will be converted into another number, analysis will become changed into another number. So how do we do it? We can do it in multiple ways. So this is for the technical people I was telling. So token, cleaning, remove words, that's what I have done using that Python function. So now we have those 3 words which we are trying to convert. So we can convert using vectorization. So there are different ways of doing it. One of them is bag of words, the other one is TD-IDF, and third one is word embedding. I'm just talking about word embedding now. So what we are trying to do is, because Google is very huge company, we believe whatever they built. So I'm also doing same thing. They have a pre-trained model. So it's like a black box. So you pass a word and it will give you like 300 vector dimension array. So that's what they do. So that's what I have shown over here. So each of the words, so we have text, star, sentiment, that was our first input. And then we have tokens over here after like removing the stop words and only keeping alpha words. And then the vector. So each word, it will be converted into 300 words, like numbers. So now what we have is numbers, which we can pass to our data model. So data model, what is modeling? So it's very simple thing. What we are doing is, you give the data and you give the output to a computer, and you'll tell like you learn and give me an output, a program. So what it will do then, so that's what we do in training. So you input the data set, and that data set will have the input as well as the output. So you'll be giving a review as well as you'll tell like, okay, for this review, the sentiment is negative. For the second review, it is positive. So you give that to this computer and it will give you a program as the outcome. And that program is what we call it as machine learning model. And that next what you'll try to do is, now you need to predict. So you get a new food review. So you want to see like that review is positive or negative. What you'll do is, you have created this model. Into that model, you give this new review, and then it will give you output like, okay, that's a negative review or positive review. So it learned from the past reviews. So that's what I have done over here. So you can look at it once you get the slides available for you. And so now we'll be evaluating the results. So how do we know like the model which we have created is good enough or not? So what you'll do is, you get the input, you divide it into two parts, test data and train data. On the test data, on the train data, you will be developing this model. And then you use the train data and then test data, and then you will be evaluating whether the model is good enough or not. So that's what I have shown over here. There are few different techniques you can use for understanding whether the model you have created is good enough or not. So I'm going to talk about the accuracy, because that's the most common metrics which we use. So what you are seeing here is the accuracy is 0.86. So the accuracy can vary from 0 to 1. So what exactly 0.86 means is, if you have 10 reviews which you have passed, out of 10, 9 reviews will be predicted correctly. So that is what this accuracy, this particular metrics will be telling. So that means this model is good enough for predicting the new food reviews. So next thing, there are words, but picture gives you more information. So I thought I'll use the same technique here as well. So I use this like numbers, and I try to plot it here using UMap and Altair visualization. And what you are seeing here is, you can see like two clusters, one with orange and one with blue. So clearly we can see like all the 0 is negative reviews, 1 is our positive reviews. So positive reviews, it has like positive sentiments, and it is clustered in one place, and negative have like it's clustered in another place. So that means we can clearly understand either by visualization, or we can predict using our model. So basically this is what we'll be doing in a data science work. So you do the prediction, and then you also visualize to see like whether your model makes sense or not. So that's me. Any questions? Too much to take in, but you can look at the slides and then you'll understand it more. Otherwise, you can ask questions, at least not now. I'll be here, and also you can talk to me in LinkedIn as well.
Anyone have any questions? All right.
Too early for the day.
Probably, yep. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.